When I started sim racing, it was during lockdown, like most people, I think. I didn't really know if that's what I wanted to do full time. It was quite a new thing to me. Where I grew up, it's very small. It's a very close-knit community.
Right, 2 bags.
You need to fill it up first.
No, there's enough in
The
it.
big issue that we had was that, obviously not many people knew about it, and it was a lot more demanding on the internet. So we had a lot of dropouts and a lot of issues, which made it very difficult. But luckily, word travelled pretty quickly that it's what I was doing.
I don't usually take sugar, but I'm feeling like I need it.
You're feeling like that?
Yeah, that's fine, thank you.
So fussy, honestly. I think it was 2021 where I decided to do it full time. I started winning races at top level at that time, and although it wasn't anything particularly big, I kind of was just like, do you know what, I'm going to take the plunge. And yeah, I'm glad I did, because it's led me to places that I would never have been otherwise.
Welcome to Ferrari World Yas Island, Abu Dhabi. 16 drivers have taken the journey to make it to this phenomenal arena that we have here right in front of us. We're only moments away from getting started in our first race of the day.
I decided to enter the Ferrari HP Esports series because why not? Obviously I knew the opportunity was on the table, for a LAN final, and there were prizes on hand for that event as well. So I was like, okay, if I do well, I can get to the LAN event.
And it's pedal to the metal, and it's go! Great start for Aiden Walshingham as well as Francis McGinn as they go side by side.
So the first race was iRacing, and I knew from the previous day's testing, we only had a couple of hours to prepare, that was the sim that I'd probably spent the least time on. So I knew iRacing would be my weakest sim, but even then we were still P3 in practice, I think. I was pretty nervous. I think iRacing was the most nervous I felt, because I knew that kind of the rest of the day would hinge on that first result. If I finished well, it would make the rest of the day a lot easier on my more comfortable sims, whereas if it didn't go well, I'd have to win the other two to even have a chance of winning the entire event. And there was a crash at turn 1.
So Walshingham's been squeezed, and so's McGinn, and we've lost more. Cody Deeth is around, and Will Chadwick leads the way.
But I came out of it in third. I came out of it really kind of feeling, okay, I'm stronger on the other two sims.
It's victory number 1 for Will Chadwick here in the grand finale of the Ferrari HP Esports Series. Aiden Walshingham comes home in second, and Luke Whitehead in third.
I'd been to previous LAN events, quite a few actually, and in previous situations I'd not fared particularly well. I'd definitely underperformed by my standards that I set for myself. I'm probably my own worst enemy in that sense. I tended to put a lot of pressure on myself, and that meant that oftentimes I wouldn't perform how I'd want to. Still can't believe how big the arena is.
It does look huge, to be fair.
Plenty of action to be had, folks. We've got the race coming up very, very shortly around the Temple of Speed.
You can see the demeanour of Luke here. He's super relaxed. The fact that this isn't his sim, I think has just made him so much more relaxed. But then Jack Olivier, I think the pressure's going to be on here. He's been upstaged in quali at least by Luke. So let's see, though. I mean, quali is one thing, as we know.
So we got pole for this one.
Right, okay.
One's a turn 1.
And it did happen.
And it's Luke Whitehead at the head of the order, Jacques Olivier. We got Verla there looking to make a move as well. Oh, goodness me, and a huge spinner.
He put it on the grass,
What's that?
I don't actually know who that was, to be honest with you.
That's Marcin Swiderek, who I think has been caught. Russell Reyes trying to move up the order. Olivier comes out in second. It's Whitehead who leads the way here on the opening lap.
Race 2 was perfect. I knew Assetto Corsa 1 was my strongest sim at home practice, and in the practice on the first day. I knew that everyone else hadn't found what I'd found in the setup and in the driving. So I knew that was my strongest sim compared to everyone else. I used that to my advantage and I won. It was a strong race and I did everything that I needed to do. Didn't make any mistakes, led every lap, fastest lap, did everything that I needed to do. Everything pretty much went exactly as I planned. Even better than I'd planned, to be honest.
Luke Whitehead cruises, I think it's fair to say, to a P1.
And a pleasure to watch as always, and that's a result. Fantastic effort from Whitehead. That's exactly what he needed. That's his first win, unbelievably, in this championship.
I went to the final in the esports arena with a completely different approach, and I think it worked to my benefit because I just went there and just drove. You know, I didn't have any expectations of how I'd be. You know, I didn't think that, oh, I need to be winning or I need to be doing X, Y, Z. I just went there, performed, and just drove.
We're always thinking, aren't we? We're always thinking, oh, how's he getting on and stuff like that. And it's quite stressful.
You're very invested in it.
Yeah, it's really stressful, really. But it's better when we know the results, because then we just watch it and go, oh, he's got to do well or whatever.
Yeah. My parents were watching the whole time, even my grandmother. They were all watching the whole time. My nan was always pestering, like, oh, when's your stream? When are you racing? When are you racing? When I went to the event, they were constantly just messaging me, like, how is it going? How is it going? How is it going? Tell us. And I don't think I actually told them how the first day went. I think I just said, okay, first day's done. We know where we're at. I think that's all I said. The morning of the final itself, I was really relaxed. Usually, you know, I get the butterflies and the nervousness, and I didn't have any of that. And I've had that a couple of times in karting, and I remember when I had that, I performed really well. And yeah, the finals, I'm glad to say, was no different.
So you're in first then?
Yeah.
And who's second?
Fidel, I think.
Question is, can Luke Whitehead take it all the way? As we now get set, ready for the race.
I'm really fortunate to have a really supportive net of people around me. I think they've really helped in that whole process. Obviously, the disappointment prior to the event, and then to have the event happen, they really helped me bounce back. And you know, they, as I say, knowing that they tune in every week makes it all easier for me to race, because you know, it's always nice to know you have someone always rooting for you no matter what happens.
The drivers now all set, ready. Formation lap in full swing. They're going to trickle down towards the start-finish line, and very soon we'll be under green flag conditions here at Misano. Let's get set to crown a champion. It's Whitehead who jumps off the line. He gets a great start. Fidel Moreira in second. Aidan Walshingham waiting in the wings. Luca Losio as well. But it's Whitehead in control and in charge.
Quite hard to tell your parents that you're going to be playing video games, essentially, full-time. But, you know, they are always really supportive of my passion and what I want to do. And, you know, they've been amazing. They helped me get my first setup. Without them, I wouldn't really be here.
Did you know at this point that you'd won?
I mean, I knew from lap one, I think if I basically was just like, if I don't make any mistakes, I didn't have any pressure, so I didn't really need to make any mistakes.
So you didn't need to win the championship?
I think I needed to finish on the podium, but
okay.
Once you're in the lead and you've got a gap, then you know.
Yeah, well, the seconds are ticking down, and as he makes his way through the latter stages on this lap, you can just see him there in his blue Ferrari 296 now coming up towards the home straight. The text all in red, it's all ticked to 0. The checkered flag will be waved, and it will be Luke Whitehead, 2 for 2, and provisional champion of the Ferrari HP Esports Series of 2024.
And the customary donuts as well. They are championship donuts.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
Fantastic work, Luke. Congratulations.
I couldn't, you know, really believe that against kind of the circumstances that I was faced with, we'd, you know, kept out of trouble, and I had basically done everything that I kind of needed to do. And yeah, we'd come home, we'd won the whole thing. So I was speechless at the time, and I still kind of am, because I remember how good that feeling was, you know, to overcome those odds. And, you know, even in practice the previous day, like, I saw that I'd been P1 in AC1, P1 in ACC, and I think P3 in iRacing, and I was like, surely not. You know, it didn't feel real. I was like, surely I'm missing something, you know. It was just like a relief, you know, like, I have done it. You know, I turned up not really knowing where I'd be, with a lack of prep and no pressure on my shoulders, and I performed to my best. And yeah, it's probably one of my best performances that I've had, to be honest. And I was very proud of it.
Our champion of 2024, it's Luke Whitehead.
You know, obviously I'll wear red now on stream, representing all the team sponsors and representing the Ferrari brand. Still hasn't sunk in, I don't think. It's a bit odd. Usually my brain processes stuff quite quickly, but, you know, obviously from the event in December to, you know, officially joining the team in January, it is a weird one, and it still feels very new and very raw, but it's something that I haven't taken for granted, and it's something that I am still very, very, proud of and eager to do a good job for the team and represent the brand that I've always dreamt of. Yeah, it still feels very, very, very surreal, that's for sure. This car I drive. So I do a lot of GT3 racing, and this is the baby that I drive. And the steering wheel is exactly the same as it is in the sim. It seems kind of obvious, but it is still quite uncanny how it's so familiar. Walking amongst the history, of Ferrari, seeing the cars all there, lined up, and it's in its glory, really, for lack of a better word. Yeah, I could never have imagined that. And, I've always dreamt of driving for Ferrari. I always saw those red cars, winning races. It's the red, that's what we see.
Hello, it's nice to meet you. My name's Luke.
Luke, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, real well.
This is surreal. Ciao, Shaw. My name's Luke. Nice to meet you, mate.
Nice to meet you too.
They like to say that everyone is a Ferrari fan, but everyone is. It is true, and I always have been. And, to drive for that brand, I think for anyone is special. But for me specifically, as someone who has, always been like, I want to drive for Ferrari one day. It's so much more special, and I think it's hard for me to put into words. Yeah, so I drive for the Ferrari HP Esports team.
Okay. So. For the F1? Or?
No, for the GTs mostly.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, it's going good. It's a very new atmosphere.
I kind of had guessed that I'd never get that opportunity to see that Ferrari legacy in person and to be part of it. And now I am, by playing on a computer at home.
So I did the Scuderia Ferrari HP series in Abu Dhabi. So I think that was December, and we did 3 sims. So it was Assetto Corsa 1, Assetto Corsa Competizione, and iRacing. And basically the driver who did the best across the 3 won.
Oh, okay.
So that was me.
Being part of Ferrari, having such a team behind me, who knows what could happen next? I'm in it for the fun and for the ride, and I don't know where this year is going to lead, but with the team behind me that I have, being part of Ferrari, who knows? I wouldn't want to predict it, so I'm excited.